As we move into storm season, here's something most homeowners don't realize after a storm. Roof damage isn't always obvious. Wind can lift shingles, breaking the seal. Hail can bruise them below, and flashing around chimneys and pipes can loosen without you ever knowing. That damage may not show up for months. If your area has strong wind or hail, a professional inspection will help bring you clarity before small damage turns into bigger problems.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Well, good evening and welcome from downtown Starkville. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon. You're watching Mississippi Live Weather here at 5 p.m. on what is a sunny day. Finally having some sunshine, making a big difference here. And excited for the fact that we're going to have a beautiful evening in store. But we are tracking potential for rainfall, for thunderstorms, and maybe even a couple of stronger thunderstorms as we go into the next couple of days. One of the main things we're looking at here in the Room to Room Weather Center going forward throughout the next 24 hours or so. So to kind of pop up there, our headlines tonight. Again, rain chances will pick up tonight. We expect them to largely be fairly limited. But there's a potential maybe for some stronger thunderstorms for tomorrow. Even that threat is not one we're terribly impressed with, but the chance that maybe one or two stronger storms is a possibility. And then we're looking at a major drop in temperatures as we head into the latter part of the weekend. First and next week, we're down back below freezing. So I had to tell my wife today, no planting the garden yet. But of course, that is something that we'll be looking at here as we get eventually ahead. Outside over the next 12 hours here, you can see 76 that temperature at 6 p.m. Again, a limited chance to maybe see. As we look toward tomorrow, our chances for rainfall are definitely going to increase a little bit. But for tonight, not impossible to see an isolated shower, but most of us probably aren't going to see much. A front moving through the area does kind of mix things up a little bit. But at this point here, not seeing a lot yielded from that. We'll go down to low 50s by the first part of tomorrow morning. High above me here in the Starkville area is our live shot from the Mississippi Live drone. Out there in the downtown Starkville this evening on what is an absolutely kind of beautiful evening across the North Mississippi and Northwest sections of Alabama. Big headline for tonight is that at least we have some sunshine out there. Certainly this had made a difference to kind of help out with that. But just nice to see, again, a beautiful evening here in Starkville, and nice to get that drone up and kind of get a shot of what everything is looking like this evening. Hopefully you find a way to enjoy this weather as we kind of swing things there back a little closer to City Hall here in a second. Definitely like the way that sun looks toward the horizon there. Just the fact that we have the sun at all, something that everyone's been kind of not just hoping for, asking for, and really, really wanting the last couple of days. So at least something that we have there. So of course, that's our Mississippi Live drone high above us at this point here. As we look ahead at temperatures right now, they are very manageable. Warmest of the week today. I believe we set a record high at Tupelo Regional Airport there earlier on this afternoon. 76 still current temperature, 79 degrees Amory, 81 in Columbus as of the latest update, and 79 there in the Starkville area. So check in again on Mama Justice Doppler radar. Not much in the way of precipitation over top of us, just a few high and thin clouds. Our chances for rainfall do get a little bit better, though. We are watching locations back up toward the Midwest, and you can see up there closer to Indiana, where you see that blue box there. That is a tornado watch for locations out that direction. Some folks with North Mississippi Storm Chasers have been tracking some tornadoes, some confirmed tornadoes actually out of this storm system up there for locations in the upper Midwest. That is an overperformance versus what kind of some expectations had on this here. As we go a lot wider, one of the things that we are noting there, again, we'll kind of click off that watch box there, and I'll hit U.S. centered for a second to go way wider. This system is the first of a couple that we are tracking here. The next one, still a ways behind it. I think that one will eventually tap into a little chillier air once it fully moves in, and that'll have the impact of bringing us those much, much cooler temperatures as we look toward next week. Still some time before that is the case as we slide things in here back toward the southeastern United States. We are still, again, mostly cloudy and obviously dry for now. Oh my God, turn my tilt off. That's my problem on there. So as we look at our forecast hour by hour through the overnight hours, you'll see here that Futurecast just has a couple of showers trying to develop down there a little closer to the Golden Triangle. We showed Winston, Noxubee County, a few there. And Gabe, straighten me up if you would on this here as we kind of advance it into this overnight hours. A few isolated showers again remain possible, but most of us are going to remain again fairly dry for tonight. But notice how there's a couple thunderstorms up there closer to Hernando, back toward Bolivar, Tennessee, and Jackson. Projections have had at least a couple of rumbles near this front, so not impossible to see that. But as you'll note, anything more significant remains pretty limited and certainly well to the north of us. So as we check out that forecast hour by hour throughout your Friday here, again, we're going to have about 10% on that rain coverage by around 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, as well as toward noontime. It's going to be late in the day if we see some storms, and there does remain at least a limited possibility we could have one or two strong to severe thunderstorms that do try to pop up. Here in 60 seconds, we're going to look in more detail at the potential for that. It is going to be a little cooler for tomorrow. Again, the first of a couple of fronts moving in. We're here at Starkville. We'll talk about why we're down here in Oktibbeha County as Mississippi Live Weather continues here from the Room to Room Weather Center in 60 seconds.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next. We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
Helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon.
Here once again in Starkville, as you show up with our camera there, a little vertical development on that little shower there, west looking out of Starkville at this time. Maybe a sprinkle or two possible as our chances get a little bit better later on tonight. Again, appreciate the good folks at North Mississippi Storm Chasers for pairing up with us on these cameras, and nice to see temperatures there in the upper 70s at that location right now. Clarksdale looks like that not reporting, but only show really some mid and high level clouds at this instant there. A beautiful shot in Clarksdale. Just nice to see anything that resembles some sunshine. And Tupelo, well, we're looking the opposite way from the sun, but 77 the temperature, a little breezy out of the south and west there as we've gone throughout today. Gabe, give me a space bar on that, if you would, please, as we continue to have, again, what are mostly dry conditions across much of North Mississippi. Actually, Gabe, if instead you'd hit the drone shot here, I'd love to show that Mississippi Live drone once again, kind of flying above us. Just a great shot, again, of that sunset looking back toward the west here in Oktibbeha County. I just love these live drone shots to be able to kind of show you these this evening, but it's a beautiful evening, and we expect, again, if you're looking for warm weather, this is kind of, to a certain extent, the end before things likely don't, well, unfortunately, we're going to go a lot colder, I think, once again, looking toward the extended forecast. Okay, Gabe, we'll bring it back down here to ground level, and again, in Starkville, we are here because I'm going to be talking to the folks at Mississippi State, the meteorology program, coming up at 6:30 tonight. I had to come down and talk to some other folks here in the Golden Triangle, and just excited for what's to come, hopefully in partnerships that we'll announce at some point here on Mississippi Live Weather within the next couple of months. But this afternoon, those temperatures in the mid-70s, coming in 76 degrees right now here in Oktibbeha County. Our winds remain kind of breezy out of the south and west. Okay, we do have a limited chance for maybe some severe weather or an isolated hailstone or two for tomorrow. This is our severe weather confidence. Again, not particularly high, but not an impossibility late Friday night to have a couple of hailstones out of this setup or some gusty winds. But I'm just rather unimpressed, all things considered, on that overall threat. Certainly the threat is much, much greater for locations back out there into the upper Midwest, where they have upgraded to a level 3 out of 5 severe weather risk, where some of the North Mississippi storm chasers are going after some of those storms there. We'll hopefully have some video of that coming up a little later on this evening if we can kind of get that into our broadcast. But conversely, come back down here toward the south, and we have that severe weather threat for Friday that does involve all locations here in North Mississippi that we do cover on Mississippi Live Weather. Level 1 out of 5, that means it's not a high confidence threat. Hail is the reason this has been issued. I'm underimpressed on that hail threat, but it's not impossible that maybe we get some hailstones possibly out of a stronger storm. But I expect most of us probably are not dealing with that. Honestly, I think the main reason why the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma put that into place is because of how this system has overperformed locations up toward the Midwest. Mama Justice Doppler radar, nothing out there to track at this point in time. We are still dry and clear. Temperatures in the middle to upper 70s as of the 5 o'clock hour. And our future cast does have some isolated showers trying to pop up next couple hours. I'm actually more interested in what happens again along and just a little behind our front that we show here at 10 p.m. on your Thursday night tonight. You have maybe 1 or 2 showers ahead of it, but behind that front or very near that front, Holly Springs back toward around Greenwood and Greenville there. Just some indications overnight in that, really possibly midnight time frame to have a couple of these rumbles. But in general, moderate rainfall and some gusty winds, the main factors out of these. Not impossible to get a hailstone, but not something we're overly impressed with. And starting off dry for tomorrow morning. Temperatures on your Friday down to 45. That's considering we were around 60 to begin the day. Considerably cooler for your Friday morning. 47 degrees in Oxford, 49 in Tupelo, and 52 there in Amory, 54 here in the Starkville area. As we go throughout Friday, some isolated showers again close to the Golden Triangle, south of US 82 in particular, a possibility. Kind of near the returning moisture. Our winds kind of shift at the surface a little more southerly. Notice how it shows north there in the northern half of the area. It doesn't quite. And so that is the more unstable air starting to work northward. As it does, it's possible to get a few storms to get a little heavier late into the day. But by 6 p.m., we show one near Red Bay. Most of the showers we have relatively weak. High temperatures, cooler than today. We're in the lower to maybe mid 70s for a few spots. You'll see we're down to 62. That's it for South Haven versus practically 80 down for Aliceville. That difference is because of, again, the front that comes through tonight has, again, an effect on kind of keeping the warmest temperature south. It's still the dividing point, even though it kind of returns as somewhat of a warm front, as you can see there, into your Friday. Now, notice here, as our system, the upper-level system kind of moves closer to us, our chances for storms increase Friday evening, 11 to midnight to maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. Not impossible to get some hailstones. This is not a highly reliable or likely situation for us to see hail, but it's not impossible. That's why we're telling you about this threat. We're hopeful it doesn't materialize, but certainly something that we're watching there. And as this frontal system kind of kicks through, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, some rumbles a possibility on your Saturday early morning. Behind that frontal system, we are drier and we're going to get a lot cooler. Notice temperatures were mid-50s by midday Saturday. We'll say possibly making it in the mid-60s by Saturday afternoon, wrapping around a few showers late in the afternoon and possibly into the evening as this storm system exits. And all we have in its wake are much, much, much cooler temperatures there. So as we check out that day planner for your Friday, 71 the high, cooler than today where we did have some locations touch record high territory. We start off at 51 in the morning. We're 66 by noontime and still about mid-60s by 5 p.m. with rain chances increasing a bit more into your Friday evening. Again, we will have that SEC baseball forecast as well as your Mississippi Live Game of the Week forecast brought to you by Casey Locke coming up during our 6 o'clock broadcast. As you can see here, we'll continue to have probably some showers first part there of Saturday. By late in the day Saturday, we should probably end up dry. And by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week, we are much, much cooler. Back there into the 40s. And in a lot of ways, obviously, it is going to be pretty chilly for those lows. Low 20s, it's been a while since we have seen that. And obviously a big drop-off there through that extended forecast period. So as we bring it back in here to the Starkville area, again, excited to talk to kids over at Mississippi State. Excited to be here in Oktibbeha County. We'll be probably heading over there to campus between this 5 o'clock and the 6 o'clock broadcast there. And Gabe, I don't know if you have the video from Maggie earlier today. I'll let you kind of pop on audio here for a second, if you would kind of tell me that, if you got Maggie's stuff up there behind the scenes.
I do not, but I will work to get it in for the 6. I'll let her or check with her and see.
Okay, we'll have that for you at 6 o'clock as well. Again, our next live broadcast is going to be at 6 p.m. What Gabe will be looking at, as well as myself during the 6 p.m. broadcast, is we're going to look at that threat, the overall triple threat analysis, something you'll see only here on Mississippi Live, see how that correlates with the hail potential there. And we'll also, of course, have a detailed look at maybe some of the rainfall totals we could see before the system's on out of here. That's coming up on Mississippi Live Weather at 6 here in the Room Drew Weather Center. We hope to see you then. But from Starkville, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. We'll see you at 6.
Hate is loud, but love is the majority.
Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.